Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. Brand new release from Rolex, and this is a big one. Their very first consumer available all titanium watch. It's a beast. 50 millimeters, is 23.3 millimeters thick, and it can go deep. It can go the deepest discovered point in the ocean, which is 11,000 meters. Well, technically just shy of 11,000 meters. This watch has plenty of bells and whistles, but what I'm going to focus on is what's surprising and impressive about this watch. What does it bring to the table? Number one, the RLX Titanium. We have a brand new material here represented by the 7-digit at the end of the reference number. Now this is the biggest thing because thanks to this material, we're able to get this watch. You know, the 2012 Deepsea Challenge, it went all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. It came back up, but they couldn't sell the watch. It was too thick, it was too big. It was 51.8 millimeters, but it was the thickness. It was 28.5 millimeters thick, and I imagine it was really heavy. And so now we have a smaller watch, it's 50 millimeters, still huge, but 50 millimeters is within reason in 2022, and the thickness is 23.3 millimeters. So that's quite an improvement. So this is all possible because of this RLX Titanium, which is stronger and 30% lighter. And so this is the most impressive aspect in my mind about this release. Worth noting are the marks on the crown because they indicate what kind of material the case is made out of. So the dot dash dot indicates that it's RLX Titanium, and so this will be the crown convention going forward for future titanium pieces. The second most impressive thing about this watch is the depth rating, 11,000 meters or 36,090 feet. It'll go all the way down to the deepest discovered part of the ocean, and you'll be fine. So, of course, nobody can hold their breath that long, but theoretically, you know, if you have a big enough air tank, you could just swim to the deepest discovered part of the ocean and be just fine. It's actually tested to 25% beyond that. So it's not on the dial, but theoretically speaking, if we were to find an even deeper trench by, 1,000 meters next week, well, this watch could go, all right? It's tested to go that deep. And that relates to the third most impressive aspect of this watch, the engraving on the case back. It's almost like an anniversary piece, and it acknowledges that 1960 accomplishment, and you got a lot of cornets on that case back. So that's a rarity. Not many Rolexes have case back engravings. The Sea Dweller does, and the Milgauss. The fourth most surprising aspect to me is the sides of the case, those flanks. Now, typically Rolex polishes the sides of their cases. This is the first time where we've ever seen brushing on the side of the case, and it's not just any brushing, it's this thick-grained brushing. So this is probably going to be something that's particular to this watch only. And also, the links on the sides are brushed too. And then number 5, which could be number 1 if this is an indication of a paradigm shift, is the reincorporation of chamfers and bevels. Man, this is big to me. I'm a pre-ceramic guy, and one of the best things about pre-ceramic watches are those lines. And many people complain about the blockiness of the modern cases, but they've reintroduced chamfers, and I see some bevels there as well. And they're a welcome addition, really impressive. They're polished. They work really well with the brushing on the side of the case. Beautiful. I really miss those. I hope they bring them back. Is it a paradigm shift? That's why I think this actually might be number 1, because are they going to reincorporate bevels and chamfers? And if they do in the subs and the GMTs, if this is just a new thing and an indication of the styling of the future of Rolex cases, I think it's a plus. I hope it's not a one-off. Let me know what you think about that. I mean, I don't like the blocky cases. Some people like them. Some people say you can polish the hell out of them, and you can. And in fact, you can polish them probably half a dozen times, and you really can't tell if they're polished or not. And that could be a plus, but the lines of the pre-ceramic watches, they're just so beautiful. And so for them to return to that, or for this to be an indication that they may return to that, well, that's impressive. And so to me, personally speaking, that's what I want to see in the future, are we going to see more bevels, more chamfers? You know, Rolex has to have things in their back pocket, right? They have the siloxy hairspring in their back pocket, and perhaps bevels and chamfers are in their back pocket too, and they might break them out in the future. Now, of course, it's a no-date watch, and this is surprising because typically deep seas or sea dwellers have dates, and so perhaps this is the first sea dweller or deep sea without a date. And it makes sense. It's got the 3230 movement, and that's a thinner movement. So when you're talking a 23.3 millimeter watch, every millimeter counts. And so to have a date probably would have meant a thicker movement and a thicker case. So I think that's probably why they opted for a no-date version. It's got an interesting styled helium escape valve, kind of different than the one I have on my watch. No surprise there. And of course, it's got all the good technology that we know about: the blue paracrine spring, the Paraflex shock absorbers, the Chronergy escapement. So that's all there. I'll let you read up on the specs. But I just wanted to talk about what really impressed me about this watch and really focus on the surprising aspects. Let me know what you think about this watch. What aspect impresses you most? For me, upon reflection, I think it's actually the chamfers, because I love chamfers. And I think it might communicate something about what we might see in the future. That's why I think that's worth talking about and worth thinking about. Would you pick this watch up if you had the chance? For me, I don't think I would. It's a little too big. 40 millimeters is my sweet spot, and I don't like thick watches, so 23.3, while impressive considering what it can accomplish, you know, depth-wise, is just a little too thick for me. And does this end the whole depth race? I mean, is it over? I mean, could we give Rolex the crown and just be done with it? Does this watch officially end the depth race? Is this the winner? Let me know what you think. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.